start our session. The pandemic that started about 2 years ago is the real game changer. As we know, COVID-19 has been the critical trigger for transformation and also digitalization in all across industries and business segments. Nowadays, as more and more companies and organizations boost their capabilities through automation and also AI, which could create multiple impacts for business, it's also believed that adapting RPA AI rapidly transform the new way of working, the new way of deliver product and also services. And therefore, this afternoon, we will discuss the topic that we are all concerned about: how AI and automation can drive customer-centric environment. And now let's begin with the first question, I think. We will ask to each panelist how AI and automation can drive customer-centric environment. Would you mind to give us insight about this statement? We start with you, Jean.
All right. So first, it's just before lunch, so I know it's difficult. So let's make that conversation very interactive. So don't wait until the end to ask questions. Also, I wanted to say that this event is really great. I've seen in many panel discussions, people are coming with business problem statement first, and then looking at solution and try to discuss with everyone, how can we solve these business problem statements? And today we'll be focusing more about the customer experience side of AI. And when we talk about automation and customer experience, is often negative, because actually a lot of businesses have been using AI to automate stuff, to push customers away, say please do it yourself, save cost, and basically from an efficiency point of view. And that can be seen very negatively. What you're trying to do instead is using AI from a customer-centric perspective to create dynamically new experiences based on the situation, the customer need, their issues of each customer, and also employee side as well. Usually I use 4 pillars to do that. You need to listen to that customer journey. Where is that customer is? What are the events that are actually relevant to understand that journey using AI? Then also using AI to understand and predict the intent, the need, the issue, whatever you call it, of that particular customer. When you understand and you can predict it, it's time to act, right? And again, using AI, you can do a lot of decisions. Shall I automate? Shall I use a bot, a voice bot for that interaction? I understand the intent, right? So, or shall I use a human advisor, for example, and give all the information to that employee to handle this conversation. And also, and the last step is actually to learn. So using AI to basically, how can we make that experience even better the next time, right? So in terms of, to wrap up this question, from a customer perspective, from a customer experience perspective, it's not a single solution. It's not about chatbot or data. It's bringing all this technology together and different use cases together to make that journey very, very seamless. And to take a very concrete example, you came here yesterday or this morning, you've got hotel staff at the door. They will open the door for you. They will look at you. Actually, if you come around 8:30, 9, they probably will predict that you're coming for that conference and that you're not a hotel customer. When they do that, I would actually come to you and say, hey, the conference is on the 2nd floor, and here is the elevator. And you take the elevator, you come here, you do your registration, you have a coffee, and then you attend the presentation. It's very, very seamless, right? Because done by human. There's a lot of thinking behind that. And of course, you can learn from it. So maybe there was something wrong. Maybe the TV that shows that the conference is on 2nd level, maybe it was at the wrong place. So you can learn and try to even make it better the next time. But this is really assisted by a human. So the question is, how can you make every customer interaction that simple, that seamless, that actually you don't have to think it. You just go with the flow, right? Just to share a more concrete experience. Actually, it turned out that last week I had to change my car insurance, just realized I made a check. That's about in Singapore. Live in Singapore. 15 car insurance, provide exactly same price, same coverage. Yeah, they are all good. They are all big. Whatsoever. So I just pick one. You do the onboarding or the sign-up process on the website, and I had 10 minutes before a call. I do it. You can do it in 5 minutes usually, and you're stuck in the last step. There was a step in the onboarding process, sign-up process that didn't work, and that's about it. It didn't work. I'd say whatever. I have a call. I'll maybe check another insurance provider later on. That's pretty bad. What happened is actually this insurance company called me an hour later because I entered a lot of my information and say, okay, well, can help you? Seems you had an issue. Can I help you finalizing this sign up? That's good, right? They really intercepted me. Competition is just a click away, right? So, and they really intercepted me at the right time. Could have been better though. They could have intercepted me directly on the website when I was having an issue, offering me some help. It could be chatbot, could be a human. They could have called me immediately later. So the process, the customer experience is still broken with all this technology we have before is still broken. So this is what we call Genesys. We call it customer experience orchestration. It's not a technology first approach. It's trying to make all these experiences, whether they are sales, marketing, or customer service, well, way better and way seamless.
Okay, great insight, Jean. Thank you. Do you want to add on any thought?
I'll start with a few simple things. What is customer experience? Is it customer service? Usually no. Customer service is a tiny part of customer experience. Every single interaction you have with a company, its product, services, technology, it's customer experience. Now, there's a lot of things to do. How do we even measure customer experience? How do I know? Is it good or bad? Look, I'm an analytic guy. I need to know it's improving or not improving. So how do we quantify customer experience? Now, if you talk to consultants, board members, they love to see a simple number. Can you put a number? 7.5 is this customer experience? Is that customer experience? But what does it represent? Let's say me and him, we have 7.5 each. Does it mean he's more happy than me? So you need to relate what the hell is this customer experience means. Do we pay the same amount of money to the company? Are we equally profitable to the company? So even if our experience is same, our value to the organization may not be the same. Or maybe we both are same, but he's different. So you see, customer experience is a vast topic, every single interaction. And we need to know whether it's good or bad. How do I improve it? Am I improving to get some financial results? CFO will say yes. CMO will say, I want to build a brand and etc. So everybody has their perspective. This is how organizations work, right? But the overall thing is all of it eventually make your customer very loyal or stay with you for a long time. So if you think of any organization, all of the C-level, all of the vertical, they eventually benefit by building a good customer experience. Where does AI come into picture? Now let's say I worked 13 years in telco. Now I'm working in financial group. Let's take a bank. You interact with the bank. They have a website. They have application, maybe tens of applications. They have call center. And you have a problem. You want to call somebody. You want to just talk to a person and solve your problem. Maybe you don't know what you want. And you make a call. Now that is a part of your journey, right? That's a part of interaction. You want that person to fix it. Now let's look at another part. You have to pay your bills. Now, are you able to pay your bills easily? Or do you have to jump through hoops? If I have to jump through hoops, it's a bad experience. Maybe I'm as a customer not pissed off, but maybe another customer will be. Or maybe for last 10 years, it's been the same. But if they simplify it for me, if they make it easier for me, I will realize that my experience is improving. This is what organization needs to do. Now to do it, tons of interaction, tons of data, tons of things. You don't have time. We cannot invent, we cannot hire 1 million people to do all these things, right? So we need to start collecting information. We need to start digesting. We need to understand what it means, automate it so that we save people time. I don't want me to work 24 hours. I want to work 8 hours, actually 4, maybe 3 hours. So if I can do my job in 3 hours, how do I do it? I have to automate. So you see, this is where AI comes in. AI is just an enabler. The objective is improve customer experience because it creates value. And that value is money. That value is loyalty. And the value is having a good image of your organization that differentiate a good one from a bad one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for making clarity on that point, Amit. And for Pak Erza, as you have experience in public sector, do you want to add a few about it?
Yeah, thank you. So I think in government perspective, customers are citizens.
Yep.
So if we talk about the customer-centric environment, I have read in the Harvard studies in 2018 one factor that in order to achieve the customer-centric environment is a direct communication with the owner or with the top level of governments. So I want to say, I want to ask today attendees in this room, anyone who have ever talked or have a direct conversation with governor, our current governor, Mr. Anies Baswedan. Anyone here in this room? No? So how can we achieve the customer-centric environment with this situation? In Jakarta, there are about 10 to 12 million people. So because we have satellites cities, so in the morning we might have about 15 million people around Jakarta. And how the government can reach these 15 million people. So in Jakarta Smart City, we try to reach our citizens by using our super apps called Jaki, or in Indonesian language, Jakarta Kini. So in Jaki, we have a feature that can for a citizen to deliver their reports, to deliver their comments, and deliver their any kind of inquiries to government officials. And in this government of in this super apps, we can monitor the reports of the citizens. We can adjust the policy by the governor to meet all these reports. And in Jakarta Smart City, we don't also not focus in Jakarta only. As a leading digital transformation government agency in Indonesia, we also try to help other local governments in Indonesia. So we have went around Indonesia. There are more about 34 states, provinces in Indonesia, and most of them the most problem is they don't know what is the problem of citizens. They don't know what is the inquiries of the citizens. So I think the first step of the digital transformation to government officials are they must close the bond, close the gap between government officials and citizens. So and with this question, I think AI and automation can help to solve this problem. So as Amit and John mentioned before, with this AI, with this automation, we can communicate with millions of people at once. So in Jakarta itself, we receive about 10 of thousands reports each month, and the success rate of the completion progress from these reports is almost 100% every month since the pandemic. So I think this is the good sign to achieve the customer-centric environment. I think.
Thank you, Pak Erza. I live in the satellite city actually, so I will download Jaki right after this. Okay, let's move to you, Jean. As you are richly experienced in implementing digital transformation across industries, not only for finance but also healthcare, retailer, and etc. The revolution of AI brings value, especially in customer experience, right? One of them is conversation AI. What does the conversation look like and how it could drive the customer-centric environment? Would you mind to?
Sure, thanks, Eva. The conversational AI actually is one of my favorite subjects. I'm very excited about that. The first thing is usually start with what is conversational AI? It's widely misunderstood across the industries, across work with a lot of businesses. It's widely misunderstood. Sorry. First is it's a user interface, right? So website is a user interface, a mobile app is a user interface, and conversational AI is a user interface. You want to do something, you want to have tasks done, you have questions, and you use conversational AI as a user interface. The second thing is conversational AI is really about using AI technology. It's actually a specific field of AI technology to enable computers to communicate like humans. And not the way around. Yeah, I think if you use your voice commands in your car, well, the experience is very, very bad because actually you need to learn these commands. Even if you use a GoPro, there's a voice command on that, and you have to remember the commands of the GoPro. GoPro turn on and GoPro take a picture or whatever. If you get it wrong, it doesn't understand yourself. So conversational AI is really different than that. It's really to enable, so you can, as a user, you can really speak in your natural language, and the machine will understand you and can be. As humans, we really talk in very short conversation. We have a lot of context behind it, short turns. Oh, I want to do that. Good morning, I want to do that. Okay, sure. What exactly? And so on. So it's a multi-turn approach. And I see a lot in the industries, a lot of companies, techs, basically conversational AI or chatbot as a kind of FAQ system. It's not about that. The second point is, why is conversational AI important? Actually, why? Actually, I'm asking you guys. Why is the most important thing? Why conversational AI is very important? Any idea? Just easy answer. Anyone?
Just raise your hand.
Yeah. Okay. We are humans, right? And what do we love to do? What do we love to do every day, right? We love chatting and we love talking, right? We are humans, right? We have 5 fingers in each hands, right? These fingers, they were not built to use a keypad or to use a mouse or to tap in the app. So we learned that and we love it now. But our primary way of expression is chatting or writing and talking, right? So this is why I think conversational AI is critical, and that's where it's here and here to stay. It's not at the stage it should be yet, right? Let's be clear about that. But it's really here to stay. And the third element is what is it is used to. It is used for in the industries, in the customers we talk to. So there's a lot of use cases. A lot of companies actually use it from a customer experience point of view, even on voice, right? What the thing you dislike the most when you contact a company is press 1 for this, press 2 for this, press 4 for that, and then you have some menus, and you're lost, right? So a lot of customers replacing actually just conversational AI by just tell us what we want. Okay, I have a question about my loan. Okay, sure, which one or which customer are you? So I think this conversation is much easier. And again, talking in natural language and not trying to, like I hear sometimes, okay, if you have a question about loan, talk slowly, loan. Yeah, this is not conversational AI and can do much better than that. The second use case is really access to information. And I will usually, if you have a simple question and simple answer, if you want to transact, if you want to make a payment to your friend, I think that might not be the best interface because you can just do it in 2 taps in your mobile app, right? What's really relevant is when actually you have a complex question, but the answer is quite simple. And we've seen that. You're talking about governments, and we've actually delivered a lot of conversational AI to governments, where during the pandemic, people came with very, very personal questions. Yeah, they were in pain, they were in financial distress, and they had very personal situation where they're contacting the government to say, okay, what aid, what support do you have for me, right? But this is not an FAQ thing, right? They needed to explain themselves. Okay, I'm a self-employed and so on and so forth. And the answer was simple at the end. So yeah, actually we covered as that, and we can assist you with that one. But the question to come to that answer and the details that provide to come to that answer was complex. So it was widely used for that. And of course, automating a lot of tasks, transactional tasks, which is also quite important. Again, you have to look at it really from a customer-centric point of view. And I use very simple example usually is, well, if you want to call someone or text someone to say, okay, what are your opening hours, right? If you think that customers will ask, what are your opening hours in a conversational AI interface is wrong. Because actually you will also expect that the answer is, well, on Monday we open from 9 to 5. On Tuesday you read it for the 7 days. That's not at all how customers interact in conversational. They will ask, okay, are you open tomorrow morning? Yeah, and you expect a response. Yes, we are open tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. All right, good, because I'd like to make an appointment tomorrow. Okay, right, where do you want to make the appointment? At the nearest location or at the location of your choice? Oh, I'd like to make an appointment there. Okay, sure, we have a slot available at 10 a.m. for you. So that's really the conversational experience you want to build. If you want to pull the content from your website into a conversational AI interface, it doesn't work. So you really have to think how customers are interact. You have to ask your front employees how customers interact with your brand. There's tools to listen and to understand what actually customers are asking and how they're asking those questions. That's actually, I think the whole conversational design point, we'll talk about that later maybe, is fascinating.
Thank you, Jean. And Amit, you mentioned before that in business, usually customer experience is all about customer satisfaction survey. It's about rating of the apps and etc. Would you mind to elaborate more about this?
Okay. So let's dissect this situation. Typical business, the management wants to understand how are we doing in customer experience. Typical answer, let's do an NPS survey. NPS, is it the answer? If you ask to the people who know what NPS is, they will say, just a number. It doesn't tell me what I need to do. What did I do wrong and what I need to do. It doesn't work. Second, you have a new application or a website. You're running some customer satisfaction survey. Does it tell you what needs to be done? This is what the insight has to be, right? So let's start from that side. Now, let's go to another part of the problem, customer service. Typically, in many organizations, it's not part of marketing. And it means it doesn't get the equal level of priority it should get. Customer experience is one of the most important things. It doesn't get the priority it deserves in most organizations. Sales, marketing, finance will get the priorities first. Then you have IT, then okay, customer service will give some money, let's do some product. Oh, you're costing too much, let's cut your cost, let's put a chatbot. We can save people. This is what the objective in businesses are. But this is not how you're going to tackle these kind of problems. I had the distinct experience of failing with a lot of these kind of use cases, and also a lot of success. By the way, I've been working in Jakarta since 2013. 2014, I started a project. I wanted to measure some sort of emotion from the audio recording from call center. We did a lot of work. Very difficult to implement. I gave up after 1 year. Seriously, it was a fancy idea that can I measure customer emotion, because the objective was I like to give freebie to the people who really genuinely appreciating versus who really need it, versus not to the people who are pissed off and gonna move anyway, right? Failed. But I learned that to interact with consumer, I need to understand the consumer, understand that state of mind. They're not angry all the time, they're not happy all the time. Happy people do not give you good feedback. They expect it as a natural thing. They give feedback when they are dissatisfied or they have an issue or they really need to know something, right? I actually turned all these experience into a real life business problem, boardroom. Every week, every Monday, the question to me would be, what is our revenue? Why our revenue is down in this particular XYZ cities? What happened? Is the sales down or the product is not working? What happened? Is network outage or is a website down, etc. Every week, every month, same thing. I thought, how about solve this problem? Let's automate it and solve it one at a time. So we generate some algorithm. We actually look at what kind of question the board members are asking all the time. We identify them and we list 20 questions. We created a database, put those numbers, run the query, and actually every morning by 8 a.m. those results will be in, because we're not really doing any real time. Nobody needs to do real time in most of the use cases. The data was in, we put a conversational AI system. We integrate with Microsoft Teams. My aspiration was to be like Star Trek. I'm not sure if all of you, if many of you followed Star Trek, the next generation. Captain Patrick Stewart, he comes and he will say, do this, and the voice, the machine will learn his nose. You don't have to type, you don't have to devise, you don't have to. So I wanted to do that. Voice recognition was beyond my capability. I thought, let's do English language. How about in your phone, in your laptop, in your tablet, you just ask the question you want to know. Because by that time, my organization had 750 Power BI reports. Just to know information, you're going to struggle a lot. So I thought, let's solve that problem. So we automated all of this. You just ask, what's my revenue for yesterday? You got the answer. And it will remember who's asking it. So your default context based to your job description. Let's say you are running your area sales manager in Sinarmas. It will tell you your area revenue. It will also ask, do you need for the entire province? Or for you? It will give you recommendation. So you don't even have to ask it, you can just click it or touch it. It will give you the next answer. So that was my first success. Then we thought, how about the next generation question? How about the typical board member question? Why is my revenue down? Now, every time you ask your analyst, they will come with different style. They will have different way of analyzing this information. They will have different way of presenting it or different reasons. But now, let's talk to 10 good guys, standardize a bunch of scenarios. If that question comes, I have all these permutation combination. Maybe there are 20 ways of solving this problem. I'm going to put to the machine. I love to make the machine work for me, not me working for the machine. So we put all those algorithms, the data was there. You just have to define which period to which period. Why am I revenue down? If you don't specify, it's nationwide. If you specify city, boom. And then you have to specify the time period. If you don't specify, this month compared to last month, or this week compared to last week. The machine will do the crunching. In 2 to 3 minutes, it will do the crunching using all these fancy AI and big data solution. And you will see the number, you will see also a chart. We also learned from Tableau. We thought, okay, let's make it fancy. We put a button there. You can click, you want to see a bar diagram, you want to see a pie chart, you want to change it, or you can just type it or do it by self. That was the second success. Then I got a lot of questions from sales guys. They said, okay, it's a good thing that you're telling me what's the revenue trend and all these things, why revenue down, can you forecast it for me? I asked them, how do you forecast? They said, oh, where people, they're on Excel sheet, they will just extract. Or sometimes they do a little more better way. We thought, okay, let's put an algorithm to it. We actually did not know how to do this in an automatic way, because I did not want to put some person to do it all the time. That's the automation part. We learned that Facebook is doing this very well. There's a class of algorithm called Prophet algorithm. You can look it up, Prophet. We automated the algorithm. The algorithm will train itself. I don't even have to train it. Every weekend we instructed it to train itself for last 2 years data, and we're gonna give you recommendations. It's gonna give forecast for next 3 months, daily forecast, and it's gonna keep updating every day. So this is an example. All these things we automated. Now the point was we need to communicate with the people, right? We integrate with Microsoft Teams. Thankfully, COVID happened at the same time. Everybody was doing Zoom or Microsoft Team meeting. So we thought, let's integrate with Microsoft Teams because my company's Active Directory was integrated with Teams. So everybody can access, and Microsoft Teams have the ability to chat. So you can ask, we put a code word, Athena. Hey Athena, just tell me this, tell me that. Then I thought, why should I always ask to the machine? Can I ask another person? Let's say I'm investigating a revenue problem and sales guy is there, and I ask him. We actually developed that chat system because we realized that people are taking a screenshot of our result, putting in WhatsApp and asking that guy, can you help me with this? I don't understand why they done, right? So I thought, why take it to WhatsApp? Why not bring the WhatsApp feature here? It was Open API, we just brought the communication, the conversation to the Microsoft Teams. So you can ask each other, you can share it, and eventually we came to the level where you can actually do presentation in boardroom. You are presenting something and they ask a question, you type there, you get the result in the boardroom. That was a success. So see, this is how you use conversational AI for solving business problem in marketing, sales, network, and XYZ. It doesn't have to be chatbot all the time. Chatbot does not get enough priority for business because it's a cost reduction. But when you start influencing your C-level, they see the value because you're saving hundreds of hours of human time. That time you can use for something better, and that's the purpose of all this.
Okay, thank you very much. I definitely need that for my job, actually. Okay, and for Pak Erza, based on your experience developing machine learning, and now you are in Jakarta Smart City, as pandemic just forced us, the businesses, the industries, and of course the government also, to cope up and to survive. And do you have any thought about this? And then what Jakarta Smart City do right now, or maybe plan for 2 years ahead for the citizen?
So this is an interesting question. I think this pandemic escalates the digital transformation implementation in Indonesia very sharp. So before pandemic, I should say that in Jakarta Smart City we don't have any machine learning implementation. Maybe just a little, but most of our works just visualize things, visualize data, gather the data, and provide the data to our superiors, our governors. But after the pandemic, we are forced to do many machine learning algorithms. So in the beginning of pandemic, at that time we don't have Peduli Lindungi. Right now we are all now using Peduli Lindungi. But at that moment we use in Indonesia SIKM using a feature from Jakarta called CLM, COVID likelihood meter. So in that feature, we try to measure the probability of one person being infected by COVID using their data of trip history, their hospital reports, and their symptoms right now, and what are they planning, where they are going to go, and other data like that. So in that CLM feature, we use several algorithms, like I could mention like XGBoost, like and other machine learning algorithms to predict the probability of one person getting infected. And in this project, we also collaborate with the Harvard Medical School students. And I think this is the one most successful machine learning implementation in our government, especially in Jakarta. And after that, we have many machine learning implementations as well. Like right now, we build like flood management system. In this flood management system, we have data of past 10 years of flood in Jakarta, and we predict the daily probability of floods in Jakarta. We use algorithms like Prophet as well, FB Prophet and Arima and so on. And also in another system, we also use in the reports feature, we try to classify automatically the reports. So in the Just Lapor feature, citizens can take a picture of their report, let's say about the garbage, or let's say about the people park their cars or their bicycle not in the area of park area. So they take a picture and get processed by our system, and we classify automatically by that picture. So what is this report about? And we deliver this report to the corresponding agency in Jakarta. So let's say the parking problem, we deliver this report to the connectivity agency, or in Indonesia Dinas Perhubungan. So we deliver those reports to corresponding agency. And in the future, we have several plans. And one most interesting plan is to build the tourism feature. So let's say any tourists come to Jakarta and they don't know anyone in Jakarta. So right now, I believe it's very difficult for foreigner to going around in Jakarta if they don't know anyone. So in this plan, we try to help these people, foreigners or someone who don't know anyone in Jakarta, to create their plan, to create their itinerary for their trip. So this itinerary will be adjusted or customized by their budget, by their time, by their preference, and other stuff. So yeah, I hope in the future there are more features coming.
Okay, thank you, Pak Erza. And now let's have interaction with the audience. Is it okay? Live question from the audience. So, do you have any question? Just raise your hand. Okay, Pak.
Okay, my name is Jokoma from Global Link, Synergy Mutual Global Indo. I would like to ask question to Monsieur Jean-marc this time. Okay, when we were talking about the customer orientation, it reminds me of the product-centric and customer centricity. So it is a basic foundation of the problem nowadays still, because so many people, starting from the small, medium enterprises to the key foreign industries, are still aware or more on the product-centric instead of customer centricity. So that's why we would like to ask your suggestion about how to redefine and also how to make a most efficient approach to them with the AI and automation can be delivered and can be adopted. So we can see that, for example, nowadays, even though there's a medium to the large company, the marketers didn't realize that sometimes they are neglecting of the orientation of the automation and the technology itself. For example, most of them are still making hard selling instead of the fact-finding of the customer-centric as a behavior of the necessity. And therefore, many experts are realized and also concerned the rise of the AI and the blockchain are similar like the existence of the internet 39 years ago. But the approach at this time is a little bit different because of what? When people realize that the internet is the basic foundation of the people can use by using the gadget itself, it can be directly benefit for them. But for the AI and the blockchain, it can be something else. So please tell us some kind of suggestion for the most appropriate approach for these small medium enterprises and also the key for industries. Thank you.
Okay. So it's not always easy to show the value, right? There's a lot, as I said, a lot of companies, they say, okay, well, we launched this initiative for efficiency, so make a small ROI exercise, and sometimes it's in customer service and no one is really interested. So it does go nowhere. So I think you always have to look, and there's not a simple answer to that one, but you have always to look where is the value, right? So it's a lot of try to drive the value as much as possible from a revenue point of view. It's always easier than from an efficiency point of view. That's always one first. Second one is, yeah, let's be realistic. We saw the conversation, AI, there's a number of applications that are coming, they're here and coming here. So even from a small and medium-sized company, you need to get ready for it, right? So even we were talking about conversational AI, it's going to be an interface and you need to set up your organization for it. It's not as simple. It's not plug and play, right? You have to really set up your organization, your teams, expertise, talents. You need conversation designers, copywriters. Some IT people to make it work. It's not just a small project that you do on the IT side. Also looking at the big picture as well, I have some customers that say, well, your conversational AI is okay, it's good for customer experience, maybe great for efficiency. But you can always have different angles to look at it. I mean, we talked yesterday about GDPR, a lot of data protections and coming into globally. There's a lot of data that we don't even leverage today. Is all the data that you've got in the conversations from a sales marketing. So we see a lot of companies investing a lot of money in their marketing, digital marketing, and when the customer lands or have a conversation with the business, all this information is even not leveraged at all. And we've got all this. So if you deploy, for example, conversational AI at scale, you've got this gold mine of information about conversation, how does conversation go, what the customers are talking about, why is it blocking. This is free information that is not leveraged today, and some companies say, oh yes, actually that's probably the angle we are looking at. So there's not a simple answer to convince, and it always needs to be a top-down approach. The pitfall also is that sometimes the projects are too small. I was talking to a friend at ABN AMRO in Amsterdam. They have a team of 40 people to handle conversational AI, right? Just to take that as an example. And what it says is, if you make it too small, right, it's going to fail. Because failing is okay, but if you make it too small, it's going to fail, and no one will you won't deliver any revenue or results. The experience will be bad, so the project will be killed. So it needs to be big enough when you start those projects. Big enough, not super huge, but big enough that it does deliver something good, a great experience, a great start of outcome for your business, and then it's quite easy to grow with the business, because then you can go back to the board or to your CEO and say, hey, we've done it, it actually works, so now we want to go and scale. So yeah, maybe not fully answer your question, but yeah, it's not an easy answer as well.
Okay. Thank you. And as we still have minutes left, I think we will move on to the closing statement. So what do you think about the next AI. What is the next innovation of AI within the industries? Just 1 minute for each panelist. Because, yeah, Pak Erza.
So in the AI, I believe we couldn't expect what's coming next, but I believe we will adapt to the AI life in the near future. So as previous speakers saying that Edmund, so I believe we should adapt about the AI era.
Okay, thank you, Pak Erza.
I'm an analytic guy. I've been doing this for the last 17 years, and still I'm not sure how the AI is going to evolve. If you look at today's business problems, most of the business problem, we try to create an analytic problem to solve. And our number one challenge today is data. We don't have data. So today, most of the problems you have is you don't have information to apply any kind of algorithms. So the evolution I am expecting to see in the next few years is that we are able to figure out where to extract data. For example, look at financial organizations. They don't have much data. Or they have tons of financial information, nothing else. They can start to look into external information, maps. They can start to open up, buy information, collaborate with other organizations. And I think in next 5 to 6, 7 years, maybe 80% will be external data. That's one way, the data side. Second is algorithms. We haven't seen crazy algorithms for the last few years. People say that there is a predictive and then prescriptive. I used to do predictive algorithms like 20 years back. They haven't fundamentally changed. All has changed is the computing power. So things you could not compute 20 years back, now you can, but algorithms are all same. So the way I see the evolution is in the area of reinforced learning, the ability to capture knowledge, the ability for the machine to learn and think, reinforced learning. So the new kind of algorithm should come, because currently what we have is not good enough. Third would be the mindset and the culture. All the discussion you have today, yesterday and so on, you realize that clarity of goal and purpose are the most important thing. What are you trying to solve? Most people say that, oh, we understand the value of data and analytics. Answer is they don't. So for businesses to be evolving, to be able to understand how to harness the power of AI, etc., that has to change. I think I see these things. Evolution in ability to get data from maps, from interactions, from data you haven't thought of, from PDF files, from your Instagram videos. I don't think we're capturing the information from videos yet. Second is new generation of algorithms that can learn the way humans interact. Like Jean gave an example. He wants certain conversation to be a certain way, just like to talk like a human, not like a pre-coded bunch of answers. How is the algorithm is going to learn that? And the third one is the business mindset and the process, and people trying to understand how to leverage AI. 90% of AI use cases fail because people don't know how to utilize it for business. So, those three.
I have to be quick, I understand. Edmund left the room, so I don't have to talk about metaverse. Now, I'm not looking for me, very, very important and very, very short. The first thing we need, all of us, is to make AI easy to adopt, to make it easier from a technology, from an adoption point of view. So it's for all of us, right? Providers, AI, vendors, specialists, users. We need to make it easier because, it's difficult for everyone to understand the possibilities and what it is already today. So this is what we need to work on now instead of the next best thing. And then we can think about the next best thing. To me, that's the most important thing I want to bring.
Okay.
I think we forget about people. The talent scarcity is a huge problem.
Yeah.
Forget all of this. We don't have people to do it.
Yeah, great. thank you for making clarity on that. And it's very insightful session. Thank you all. Hope we all have doing well in the future and have a nice day. Thank you.